As I was praying for a while to find out what am I supposed to speak on, Father's been answering my prayer for patience by waiting till the very last minute to share with me what he wants me to speak on. And when he finally did, and as he usually does, it tends to be something that he's just kind of forcing me to look in my own heart and convicting me of what I need to do. And so I joke in the intro about this being my public confession forum, and that's really the way I end up feeling. And when I'm done with these, this is kind of like my public confession. So there's some, keep that in mind as you hear some of the challenges that I'm going to share. I mean, these are absolutely nothing along the lines of you should be doing this and all that. I mean, this is me telling you, I'm looking in a mirror, preaching to myself, and you just happen to be the second witnesses. Let me start off with a short story. There was a young man, single man, in his mid-20s, and his mother had passed away years ago. He was an only child, and his dad was his dad had a very, very serious illness. His dad was very, very wealthy, millions. And even though there was this wealth in the family, there really wasn't a unity in the family. And son was, it wasn't like there was disharmony, but his son was, lived across town and rarely got together with him. So he heard the news from the man that kept his father's affairs that said, your dad really only has about 2 weeks to live, so you really ought to start to make preparations. You're going to be inheriting for $20 million. So the man had never really been too smooth with the ladies, and he thought in his heart, I'm going to have all this money. I want to share it with somebody. I want to spend this on somebody. So he went out, convinced himself, tonight I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet my wife, and now that I'm a wealthy man, things are going to be a little different. So he goes out to a club and sees this beautiful woman walk in, and with his newfound confidence, he walks up and he says, I'm going to be coming into $20 million. My father's very ill, and with that inheritance, I'm looking for a wife to spend it on. So intrigued, she sat down and she talked with him for a while. Got to know him a little bit. She talked about what he did, what she did, talked about his father. And then she just got up and said, it was nice talking with you, and she walked out. And he was kind of angry. He's like, this hasn't changed anything. This is the way these things always go for me. So he goes home, and a week later, he sees her walking up to the door. And he says, you know what? She thinks she's going to come back now. I'll let her know another thing. So she rings the doorbell. He opens it up, and she just tells him, I just want to let you know that I'm now your stepmother and wanted to know if you wanted to come over and visit Dad. Now, while there's humor in that story, there's unfortunately too much truth as it describes a model that we see in the world today. It's a model, and it's a broken model. Families separate their lives, and the separation starts at a very early age. In so many households, as an infant, the children are going right into daycare. K through 12, preschool, it's all more time outside the home than inside the home, and the time inside the home is mostly sleeping and getting up and going back into it the next day. You move on to college, and now it's an even further separation. And in college, you earn a degree, which is really just the right to move on to on-the-job training, and your real training begins. But this is where the financial challenges start to kick in. Everybody's trying to buy a house, buy a car, try to keep up with all the neighbors. But at the same time, you're running this race of trying to save up enough to live off of after you retire. It's a very pre-Copernican model. I mean, it's right from the start. It's all about self. It's all centered on and focused on self. You go into these environments outside the house, and there's no unifying family aspect to it. You learn very quickly. I got to take care of myself because, quite frankly, none of these other people are going to. And that's the mold, the teaching and the training. It's not about individually tailored training to your spiritual needs and your real growth as an individual. It's about keeping the peace, keeping a little bit of a fence around the chaos, and just managing the masses.